Thank you for joining me today. My name is Regina Dillard, Living Food Chef for Inner Sanctum Wellness, and today I am presenting a Spiral Vegetable Tart. Now, it's called a spiral tart because of the thin slices of vegetables that are tightly wound around each other until it creates a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. I call it a piece of work because it is a gorgeous, gorgeous dish. This recipe does contain cheese, so it is not raw or vegan, obviously. However, I still have viewers who have not yet made a commitment to raw or the vegan lifestyle. They're simply exploring, and yet they want to know what a meatless meal tastes like and what vegetables could look like, smell like, and taste like, even though it does still contain dairy. So I'm presenting this recipe, and I hope you like it. Stay tuned. Now this recipe has several components, but we'll start with the crust. First we'll add the cheddar cheese to the food processor and we'll process until it makes small, fine granules. We'll add the spelt flour, followed by the cornmeal, and then we'll add to that the salt. Process all ingredients at this point. Next, we'll add the butter. The butter provides the texture and the flaky crust needed. Be sure the butter is super cold. This will prevent the dough from becoming too sticky due to the oil content. Blend all ingredients. At this point, the dough really won't take shape until the ice cold water has been added. 2 tablespoons should do. Now once the water has been added, replace the cover onto the food processor and simply pulse it. You don't want to overwork the dough. And once it has completed the pulsing, you'll know that it is formed because it will take the shape of a ball. At this point, use your spatula to remove the dough and place it on a sheet of commercial plastic wrap. Be sure to cover the entire ball, forming it into a ball, and then pressing it flat. Pressing it flat will ensure you have a flat surface to work with when you're rolling your dough out. Once your dough has been prepared and wrapped, you want to make sure that it chills in the refrigerator for no less than 2 hours. This will make it less sticky and easier to work with. Now we're on to the basil pesto recipe. We're starting off this recipe with 2 cups of fresh basil leaves. Next, we'll add the raw pistachios. The pistachio provide the texture needed. Then we'll add olive oil, lemon juice, and finally the salt. We want to make sure we process all of the ingredients so that the pesto has a nice, smooth consistency. Now, because we have one more step to take before we assemble the tart, we want to make sure that we refrigerate the pesto and use it when we're ready to assemble all of the components. At this point, we want to take our mozzarella balls and cut them into thin slices. You should be able to get at least 7 or 8 slices from each ball. This handheld mandolin has 3 settings. 1 for the thinnest slice, 3 for the thickest. We want to set it at 3. And what we'll do at this point is take our first vegetable, which is the eggplant, and make long, thin slices, cutting lengthwise. Be sure to exercise care because the blade is very sharp. So you want to slice all of your vegetables and place them in a pile. Now with the carrots, you may find they're less flexible, so you may want to use a vegetable peeler. Now that the crust has chilled for 2 hours, we're going to remove it from the wrap and get ready to roll it out. What we'll do at this point is prepare our work surface and dust it with just a little cornmeal to make it easier to roll out and so that the dough won't stick. Now it's time to roll out the crust. We're going to dust the rolling pin with a little bit of flour just to make sure it doesn't stick to the pin. Roll out with a little bit of pressure, making a quarter turn just to make sure it is an even circle all the way around. Once done and you find your dough is too hard to work with or maybe a little sticky, simply take the dough, place it into the tart pan and press against the bottom and sides, making sure it goes all the way up to the rim of the tart pan. Using your hands and fingers, it's just fine. And now we've come to the fun part, the assembling of the tart. We'll start with the first layer, which is the pesto. We're making sure that we spread it across the entire base of the crust. We'll add our mozzarella slices, making sure they're as close as possible to cover the entire base of the pesto. You want to make sure to reserve at least 1 slice for the centermost part of the tart. We're going to use that as a guide to wrap the vegetables around. Now we're going to add the slices of vegetables. Using that piece of mozzarella that's in the centermost part of the tart, we're going to start with a slice of zucchini, wrapping it around the entire circumference of the mozzarella. Then we're going to add strips of carrots, followed by strips of zucchini, and we're going to continue alternating zucchini, carrots, and eggplant until the entire base of the tart is filled from center to rim. Now, once the tart is complete and all the vegetables are in place, we have to go back and place a closure in the centermost part of the tart, adding the last strip of vegetables just so that it looks uniformed. Right before baking, we're going to add a little bit of olive oil to the top of the tart just to make sure it obtains a nice light brown color after baking. Now that your tart is done, you want to make sure you wait at least 1 hour prior to cutting. You want to make sure the mozzarella has slightly solidified so that it holds together when you're cutting. And we are done. Would you look at this beautiful tart? It's like a work of art. The spirals of thinly sliced vegetables with the basil and pistachio pesto as the base. And then you have the bocconcini mozzarella in the middle, and then you have all the vegetables in a nice, beautiful spiral. It is so delicious. What I would recommend is that you let it cool no less than 1 hour and use a serrated knife to make it easier to cut. Now, I would recommend you serving this with either a side of fruit or a simple microgreen salad. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.